tonight cover story, those claims overnight that the world's first genetically edited babies have been born.
The Chinese researcher has created an international controversy over science and ethics after claiming he helped make the world's first genetically edited babies.
Two beautiful little Chinese girls.
This is the doctor who changed the future of the human race and let the world know on YouTube.
Chinese medical officials say they are investigating the scientist who claims to have created the world's first genetically edited babies.
Two beautiful little Chinese girls named Lulu and Lala came crying into the world as healthy as any other babies a few weeks ago.
I know this is probably going to be the world first. So if it's not safe or have any problem, it may rule the entire field and the people may lose trust in the new technology.
But there's no need to worry about that because we live in a civilized world and everything that happens is simply conspiracy theory, fear porn, and everything else. You see, this guy came out on YouTube and told people that they've modified babies using CRISPR technology. And guess what? He's missing. Because that's how they deal with it. He's missing. Now, I've covered things about how to cure cancer, homeopathic doctors, and then once a week, every one of these doctors went missing because that's what happens when you mess with these guys. Because people can't seem to quite get their head around it that this is a real thing. It blows me away. It entirely, completely, and totally blows me away the amount of people that run their mouths talking about fear porn. Fear porn. My channel specifically warned you 2 years about CRISPR technology. Every single time a story came up, I covered it and showed it to you. I left the link so you could understand it. And people are like, that's totally, completely, and 100% ridiculous. Well, guess what? If they're talking about it, they've been doing it. Before CRISPR technology was even released, we're the last ones to hear about it. We're the very, very last ones. You know why? Because this is us. You see the bottom? You see the indigenous people? That ain't us. You see the chattel and slaves? That ain't us. This is the police, the militaries, the doctors, so forth and so on, and the politicians. We're way down here. Don't get it twisted. We're not the modern day slaves and blah, 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 blah. Of course, all this trickles down, but we're at the very bottom of the list when it comes to information getting decimated. This is them. This is us. And this is what happens when you go on YouTube and tell people things they don't want you to know. You think it's just a coincidence that this guy's just completely gone missing? Well, Richie, it's China. Well, guess what? China is the one that we owe almost half of our national debt to. China has the titles and leases to half the land that is currently on fire out in California right now. China has all the technology that Americans worked so hard to develop and create because our politicians simply handed it over to them. How do you think an opium-strung-out third world country like China is suddenly the first one to come out and announce that they're making gene-edited babies? These are superhumans. These are people with no genetic flaws because they can remove them. Are they natural? Are they God-created? Hell no. But are they real? Hell yes. And if you talk about it, you end up like I told you. But it's all fear porn, isn't it? Links will be in the description. I'm out.
Tinkering with the human race. Scientist He Jiankui claims to have edited the DNA of twin baby girls, using a technique that removes and replaces a strand with pinpoint precision. He says he modified the embryos to make the babies resistant to possible future HIV infection.
I feel a strong responsibility that it's not just to make it first, but also make it as example.
But many in the medical profession are calling his actions dangerous and irresponsible. The practice is banned in most countries, as there could be unforeseen side effects for the children and their offspring.
It's not a wise plan. Maybe they'll be resistant to HIV, but what about in 30, 40 or 50 years? Because this modification will be passed on. Will it be a disadvantage? It's changing future generations, as if we can predict the future.
He Jiankui has been on unpaid leave since February. The university where He works has distanced itself from his research. calling it a serious violation of academic ethics and norms. The news has prompted outcry in China, where 100 scientists have penned a statement criticizing the findings and calling for better state legislation.